Hey everyone, this is Logan Shinholster with Contractor Growth Network, and with all the small business stuff going on, it's March 16th, 2020. I'm sitting here with Edin, and we're going to talk all things about what, from a financial standpoint, what is going to happen with your business and what you need to be doing about your small business today. So Edin, welcome, man.
What's up, everybody?
So this is actually funny enough, the second recording of this, because the first one did not record. So we already have tons of practice. So you ready to jump into it, Edin?
This one's going to be perfect.
All right, cool. So right now it's March 16th, so it's all starting to come out. Feds dropped rates yesterday. So can you kind of just give us an overview of like what that means, just as if you were explaining to me, a fifth grader, and then what that means for small business owners, specifically contractors?
Yeah, so what usually happens is when the government is afraid that the economy is going to slow down a little bit, or once it already has slowed down, which it hasn't, what they try to do is they try to throw money at the problem, right? So they go out and they say, okay, how can we support everybody, all the small businesses? And what they do is the Federal Reserve will go out and what they call quantitative easing. They will purchase treasury bonds, usually at the longer end, 10 years, 30 years, 20 years, to bring interest rates down. And what that does is, because interest rates go down, it makes borrowing money cheaper and easier. So as a small business owner, and especially in the contracting world, having access to money and liquidity is critical, not only during times when things slow down, but also when things are good. You always want to have access to money so that you can reinvest in your business, so you can grow your business, you can hire people, if you have to buy equipment, trucks, and most importantly, your marketing and your branding, so that you can stand out in the crowd. And so what they're trying to do with this is, as more and more businesses are saying, hey, we're going to close our stores, or we're going to adjust our hours. You just experienced this, your office building shut down, you can't even get in. As that's happening, is what they're trying to do is make it easy for everybody to adjust, right? So if, for example, if you needed to go out and now buy new equipment or new computers for your whole team that you can continue doing work, they want to make that easy and minimal impact. So they're trying to bring your cost of borrowing money to go out and purchase stuff super cheap. And so that was the whole thing of yesterday when they cut rates for the second time in the past couple of weeks. They're pumping $700 billion into the markets. President Trump in the last 2 weeks announced that he wants the Small Business Administration to make borrowing for small businesses easier. Typically, the small business loans can take 3 to 6 months to get funded. And because it's the underwriting is actually pretty rigorous on those. You usually have to be in business a couple of years, or you're purchasing a business that's been in business. And they have to hit certain milestones in terms of revenue and profitability in order for them to underwrite that. Now they're talking about bringing those requirements way down to give access to more people without all of those underwriting guidelines, because the federal government's going to basically guarantee those loans.
So with that being said, like we talked about this in the first one, but I thought that I heard something about like they're gonna cut the process way back, so it's way easier, it's way simpler, almost to the point where like you don't even need to like go into the bank. You can just like go online, like fill out a form, and you're good. So is that even feasible? Like, would they ever get to that point where it's like literally just like you can go online and just get a small business loan like that, or did I just like mishear that?
I think that's overly optimistic.
Oh, okay.
They're basically, zero underwriting loans, as well as just send everybody a check in the country. There's going to be some there's going to be some underwriting. The issue with that, if you have underwriting, you have a bottleneck, which is the number of people reviewing your loan docs. That's why it takes so long. It's kind of like getting a mortgage. It goes through a whole process. What they're probably going to do is they're going to have some sort of different stages of how much borrowing they're going to make available super easy. And then if you want more, it's actually going to have to go through some sort of underwriting. And I would imagine, every small business up to 10 grand, they'll make it super easy. It's going to be a 10-minute app. 10 to 50, you got to provide some sort of documentation, and then 50 plus, you're probably going to have to go through underwriting. But again, that's just a guess. The government just moves slow on these things, and for them to come to agreement in Congress and get the president to sign off, I wouldn't hold my breath on that. I would go ahead and be more proactive today, and if that comes to fruition, then let's take advantage of that on top of it.
So what can they be doing today to be proactive with this?
Yes, I mean, some things are, in my opinion, super simple business things that we should do anyway, which is, if you have outstanding invoices, call those customers, try to collect, bring cash flow in. On the access to money side, the simplest funding source is credit cards. I mean, I have credit cards, I have access to over 60 grand in spending power. So if I went out of business tomorrow, I could live another year and a half just off my credit cards. That's worst case scenario. I don't expect it. I don't think this is going to cause it. I don't think anything else is going to cause it. But I have proactively, when I started my business, chosen to go down the route of creating access to money. So that I would recommend that to everybody, contractors, especially. Go where you buy your supplies. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Sherwin-Williams, whoever you're using for your supplies, and say, hey, do you guys offer credit lines? Do you offer credit cards for your contractors? How do I get one? Now, again, depending on the size of your business, how long you've been in business, you may have to personally co-sign, which means your personal credit score could be affected. It's a two-edged sword. You got to think about what else is going on in your personal life. What other thing? If you're going through a mortgage process right now, do not put your social security number on any additional credit. Talk to your lender first. But outside of that, credit cards are the easiest thing. Lines of credit with your suppliers, and then go talk to your banker. Talk to your banker. Say, hey, look, just precautionary. I'm actually growing. I want to grow some more. How can I get 10, 20, 30 grand as a line of credit? Most of them will want to do what's called an asset-backed loan. So you would basically collateralize. You would say, okay, I have these 2 or 3 or 4 trucks. If I default on my loan, I give you my title to the trucks. Some of them will give you outright lines of credit. Depends on the relationship you have. So this is where, when things are going well, you got to nurture these relationships. You got to talk to your banker. You want to talk to your accountant and your attorney as well from time to time, just to see who else they can put you in touch with, so that proactively you're building these relationships and you have potentially access to private money too. So if you have relationships with people who have a ton of cash, and now in the stock market they can get 1%, 2%, 3%. If you offer them 6, 7, 8 to borrow money, and they know you well and they know your business well, that's another source of cash that if you need it to grow, you can tap into.
Okay, so I understood most of those words, but like collateralize and yeah, you got
me. Sorry. What it means is the bank wants something that they can take from you if you do not pay them back.
Okay.
So they have collateral. So if you get a mortgage, the house is your collateral. If you buy a car, the car itself is collateral. Now, if you just get a loan outright, if you don't have the credit history, your business doesn't have the credit history, they want something that they can get in return, because then they're going to sell those assets to get their money back if you don't pay your loan. Sorry.
Okay, I was like, all right, cool, got it. All right, so what it really sounds like is just like being just proactive about this. Even if you are growing, at least just opening up the conversation right now. Just say, hey, if for some crazy reason, we keep slipping down, I want to kind of like have this discussion with you if need be.
I wouldn't even go that route. I mean, because then you're sounding negative, like you're concerned about your business. For me, it's like, hey, look, I'm growing. I have competition that is concerned. I want to kick their butt.
Yeah.
So I want money to keep investing in my business, to keep growing. Here's my growth over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 years. I have good, accurate financials. Here's my tax returns to prove it. I want to continue to build my brand. I want to continue to market. I want to bring on people. I'm all in rather than, I'm scared.
So I'm seeing people online, certain people are saying, yeah, because of all this, I'm stopping, anything that doesn't directly help me produce a job, I'm stopping, which means that like, people will say like, oh, I'm stopping ads, I'm stopping, like the marketing stopping and stuff like that.
So where are you getting jobs from?
I think what they're just hoping is that they can ride it out over the next couple months with like the jobs that they have, and then
Yeah.
figure it out there.
Yeah. If you rely on that, if you stop marketing, if you stop contacting customers, your suppliers, all your contacts, you're going to come to a stop. Because think about it, the ones that continue to market, the ones that are continuing to be in front of their customers are the ones who are going to get the jobs. If you say, I'm going to step back, I'm going to stop being in front of them, I'm not going to put my brand out there, how are you going to get those jobs? This is coming from an accountant, and most accountants are going to tell you, yeah, conserve cash, stop spending. No, this is a time to go all in on solidifying your brand and your position in your market. This is where those people who think like that, who think let's cut all spending, let's only bring money in, they are the ones who don't have cash in the bank. They're the ones who don't have access to cash. And so they're the ones who are scared. And so if you're seeing that, either they need to figure out how to improve their own cash flow and their own financials, or they are the ones who are the most at risk of being out of business. The ones who are spending the smart way and who are continuing to work on the business, on top of in the business, they're the ones who are going to come out stronger. And I think you did a video Thursday, Friday about your dad. A while ago.
Yeah. I sent one out to all my clients that we work with actively right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like went down the same idea of that, like, if you pull off of everything right now, and I was saying, obviously, as like a marketing guy, like I see the effects of it, and I know like the benefits of staying top of mind, because when we bounce back, and we always do, who's going to be the ones, getting the lion's share of all the opportunity? Because everybody that's backing off of all the spending, when you stop spending on Facebook ads, well, guess what that does? That makes it cheaper for me to buy ads, because it's an auction. So now my ads are going even further. So
Yeah.
I see a lot of that, and I know the ones that are stopping are the ones that go into that scarcity mindset, and they just go, okay, well, like I'm just gonna hope this thing works out, but I don't think hope is a good strategy.
Well, I think those are also the people that haven't really stepped back and thought about their business and their brand and what is their competitive advantage.
Right.
If you're relying on one or two jobs for the next 3 to 6 months, big ones, what happens if that job for some reason has to come to a stop? What if they, if they decide, like, they're shutting down retail stores, they're shutting down office space. What if they start now shutting down those construction sites?
Yeah.
Now you can't work. You're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5, 6, 7 other ones.
Yeah. So this is the time to go on the offensive and to make sure that you have access to cash if need be.
Call Logan.
I appreciate that.
Call
All
Logan.
right.
That's your first or second step, and then figure out your banker and what he can do for you, or she.
So, Edin, if people want to connect with you, I know right now you're in the heart of tax season on top of all this, but what's a good way for people to reach out and connect with you?
The easiest way is either go to my website, edincuskovic.com, or shoot me an email. If you guys just put that,
We'll put all that stuff down below in the description.
That's usually the easiest. My name's not the easiest to kind of hear and put letters to it.
Yeah.
That's usually the simplest way. I'm pretty good about answering emails, phone calls as well. So whatever works for you works for me. And
Cool.
then we can chat more about it.
Cool. And then just to wrap it all up, so we've got go on the offensive, have access to cash. Is there anything else we're missing?
I think those are, to keep it simple, those are the two things that and again, for me, it's whether it's the good times or the bad times. Those are the two things you got to do in order to thrive. All the successful businesses, that's what they do. I mean, when we were in this whole upswing for the past 11, 12 years, all your big companies, if you think about it, all of them hoarded cash. That's why all of them now are coming out for the first, I think the first time ever, and are saying, okay, we'll pay our employees to stay home. We'll figure out how to make them work from home. It's because they, over the past decade, they have done all these little steps to make sure that they're number one in their industry and that they have plenty of cash. And so we got to learn from them at the small business side and do the same, replicate what they're doing, and just keep going.
Cool. Edin, thanks, man.
Yeah, man, always a pleasure.